I'm John Markoff. I'm the moderator this afternoon, and I'm associated for the moment with the Human-Centered AI Institute at Stanford, where I'm the writer in residence. And I'm going to moderate this panel. So good afternoon. In the next 2 hours, we're going to explore the prospects of democracy in the digital age. Let me begin by offering just 2 words: unintended consequences. I have to confess that I was once a member of the then small internet community that subscribed to that optimistic philosophy promoted by John Perry Barlow in the Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace. It took me a few years to realize that cyberspace was in no way independent from the physical world. It was simply an amplifying mirror for the good and bad reality of what we once called meat space. So my confession is that I was also a devotee of that genre of science fiction known as cyberpunk. What was it that I didn't get about what the science fiction writers of the 1970s and 1980s saw so clearly? In the 1980s and 1990s, I reported extensively on Kevin Mitnick, who was a young American computer outlaw, and Pengo, who was a German computer hacker from that same era. But after writing about computer security issues going back into the 1970s, after Anonymous and LuzSec, I left that beat at the Times. I decided that if I had to write one more story about a testosterone-poisoned teenager with an attitude, I was going to have an aneurysm and I needed to find something else to do. It just kept getting worse, and so I walked away from what became the best beat in journalism. So we're speaking about big data today in part, but I'm not sure that data by itself is the culprit. The cyberpunk authors once described computational brain-computer interfaces that would make it possible to, quote, jack into the net, as they described it. But it turned out that it really wasn't that complicated to hack a human mind. Stuart Russell, who is the UC Berkeley AI scientist who is a campaigner against autonomous weapons, has pointed out that the polarization of American society comes down to just 50 lines of Python code. During both the Clinton and Obama administrations, there was an abiding faith that the value of the internet was as a technology that would be used to spread democracy globally. There was little awareness, however, that the internet would prove to be the world's most effective Trojan horse. Today, in just a few short years, the zeitgeist has shifted from Silicon Valley being able to do no wrong to where today it apparently can do nothing right. It is no longer extreme to pose the question of whether democracy will be able to survive the internet. Our panel will discuss the risks and opportunities of social media, mobile technology, and the advances in AI. The most pressing question is how to keep democracy safe in the face of a wave of new technologies that connect us in new ways. The fundamental point about TCP/IP, which is the underlying protocol that runs the internet, is that it connects every node to every other node. This afternoon we'll begin with 3 talks. The first by Siegbert Schäfke, who is a journalist and leader of Germany's Stasi resistance, Josh Chin, who covers China politics at the Wall Street Journal, and Andreas Wiegand, a member of the Digital Council to the German government and a former Amazon chief scientist. And then we will reconvene for a conversation, and I'll do my best to bring the audience into that conversation. So why don't we begin now with Siegbert?